Hey, what is going on with y'all, man? It is Black Balloon, and I'm coming back with another video, so y'all already know what's going on. Alright, y'all. Now, we are here today to talk about Diddy and go over the recent indictment where Diddy is being charged with 3 counts of racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Now, according to all of these charges, if he is convicted, he faces a sentence that could go as far as life in prison, or if not, him not seeing daylight for a very long time. Now, of course, as soon as this happened yesterday, a bunch of people hit me up and was like, yo, I know you're going to drop a video on Diddy. And y'all already know we got to go over what has come to light. A lot of this stuff, you know, we already know and we've sort of covered in the past. But I do want to play the clip from the U.S. attorney in New York because he laid it out the best I've heard. You know, it's interesting to hear it from the people who are charging him directly. And the indictment goes into a little bit more detail that I'm sure some of y'all have heard by now as far as what they found and, you know, the fact that the case is not over. They're still investigating and things may continue to come out about Diddy that we didn't know, or, you know, situations that did happen. We may find out more about those situations. The only thing I have to say before we get into this clip is I want to see a video of Diddy actually going into the jail, being handcuffed. I don't know if y'all have seen any. I haven't seen anything online. They even have sketches of him supposedly in a courtroom and the judge is like in the picture as well. I just want to see some proof that he is actually in jail and, you know, something is really being done about this. But y'all, I'm gonna come back and talk to y'all in a second. We'll go ahead and get into this clip with the U.S. attorney in New York. So y'all, check this out.
Announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution. The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. As alleged in the indictment, to carry out this conduct, Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice. Let me say a little bit more about the charges. The indictment alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial sex workers, some of whom he transported or caused to be transported over state lines. Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics, such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant. As alleged, when Combs didn't get his way, he was violent, and he subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse so that they would participate in the freak-offs, and that Combs hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims, at times by their hair. On one occasion in March of 2016, that conduct was captured on video and later reported in the media. Specifically, Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a victim in a Los Angeles hotel when the victim was attempting to flee. As alleged, these assaults often resulted in injuries to the victims, which took days or weeks to heal. In addition to the violence, The indictment alleges that Combs threatened and coerced victims to get them to participate in the freak-offs. He used the embarrassing and sensitive recordings he made of the freak-offs as collateral against the victims. And the indictment alleges that he maintained control over the victims in several ways, including by giving them drugs, by giving and threatening to take away financial support or housing, by promising them career opportunities, by monitoring their whereabouts, and even by dictating their physical appearance. Because of all of this, the indictment alleges that the victims did not believe they could refuse Combs without risking their security or facing more abuse. The indictment also alleges other acts of violence undertaken by Combs and others, including violence against witnesses to his abuse, kidnapping, and arson. The indictment alleges that on more than one occasion, Combs carried or brandished firearms to intimidate and threaten victims and witnesses. Now, Combs did not do this all on his own. As I mentioned, Combs has been charged with RICO conspiracy. He used his business and employees of that business and other close associates to get his way. Those individuals allegedly included high-ranking supervisors in the business, personal assistants, security staff, and household staff. The indictment alleges that those individuals facilitated the freak-offs. They booked the hotel rooms and stocked them with the supplies, including drugs, baby oil, personal lubricant, extra linens, and lighting. When the hotel rooms got damaged, they helped clean it up. They arranged for victims and commercial sex workers to travel for the freak-offs, and they delivered large quantities of cash to Combs to pay for the commercial sex workers. The indictment also alleges that they helped Combs cover up his crimes. During the March 2016 incident at the LA hotel that I mentioned earlier, a member of the hotel security staff intervened, and Combs attempted to bribe the staff member with a stack of cash to make sure that what happened was kept quiet. And as the indictment alleges, in late 2023, after public allegations were made about Combs' crimes, he and others pressured witnesses and victims to stay silent, including by making phone calls to witnesses and victims and giving them a false narrative of what they had experienced. And as alleged, Combs used others to help conceal his abuse by monitoring and preventing victims from leaving a location in order to hide their injuries, or by locating and contacting a victim who had attempted to flee. As part of this investigation, in March of this year, special agents from HSI executed search warrants at Combs' residences in Miami and Los Angeles. They also executed a warrant for Combs' electronic devices. During those searches, agents seized evidence of the crimes charged in this indictment. They seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 defaced AR-15s and a large capacity drum magazine. They also seized evidence of the freak-offs, electronic devices that contain images and videos of the freak-offs with multiple victims. And they seized cases and cases of the kinds of personal lubricant and baby oil that Combs' staff allegedly used to stock hotel rooms for the freak-offs, more than 1,000 bottles altogether. Here are some of the items that we recovered during the searches. As you can see here, this is a drum magazine, large capacity, and it contains, I believe, 59 rounds. I mentioned as well we recovered 3 AR-15s. This is a close-up shot of one of the AR-15s, and you can see right here the serial number has been thoroughly defaced. Another picture of more ammunition and parts of 2 AR-15s right there. Now, I want to be clear about 2 things. First, this office is determined to investigate and prosecute anyone who engages in sex trafficking, no matter how powerful or wealthy or famous you may be.
All right, y'all. Like I said, a lot of the stuff we were already aware of. But, hearing it all put together, basically into the RICO Act, it just sounds crazy. It sounds crazy. I'd have to say that there's not enough sex in the world for 1,000 bottles of baby oils or whatever, lubricants. My God. 1,000 bottles, like setting up different hotels with the supplies, the drugs, the money, the lubricants, the oils. This was serious to Diddy. Like, this became an obsession. Like, Diddy is really a demon, and using all of the power and money that he has over everyone that he damn near came in contact with. And he's been doing it, I'm sure, ever since Diddy became Diddy. A lot of people think this is like not a big deal. Think it's like kinks, and I think I saw someone else from the industry, I think it was Boosie, that tried to say this is something that a lot of other people do in the industry, which, I'm sure, but this is a little bit different with Diddy. There's nothing you can say that makes this situation small, or that takes it to something that's not as serious as the indictment makes it seem. There's nothing anyone can say. This is the type of thing that it just really confirms everything we've ever talked about on this channel, because so many people got exposed with Diddy doing all of this stuff, and it almost feels like more will be exposed. Really, Diddy hasn't said anything. All of this stuff has just been lawsuits against him. He might reach a point where he starts exposing other people. You can only imagine the ones that we speculate on but don't really know about. Him confirming those truths, him confirming those freak-offs with certain people. We could only imagine that. Like, it could hit a point where he even tells the truth himself, if he ever has that chance to. Because, man, from producers he's worked with, other male artists, back to the interview on Drink Champs with Fabulous, telling Fabulous, you never party with me, man. Probably all the way back to Biggie, Mr. C, who's died, that was a part of that camp back then, Meek Mill, y'all, so many people, and it's mostly men. So we can only imagine this stuff just really confirms a lot of the stuff we talked about on this channel. 1,000 bottles of oil, baby oil, and lubricant is wild. I cannot get that out of my head. Like I said, I don't think there's enough sex in the world for that much oil, baby oil, lubricants. That is crazy. Just here, that is wild. That's next level freak off kind of shit. Like, for me, this kind of stuff is just very demonic. Very demonic. Like, that's all I could say. Those demons really got a hold of Diddy and turned him more rotten than he probably ever could have been without the music industry. That's what that money do. You already got a little piece of rotten in your soul. You get that money the way Diddy got it. You get that power. And that's what it does. Turns you sick. I think I've said it a couple times. People like that, they become sick with their imaginations. And then the fact that you can make these imaginations come true. The things that you really want to do, things that you really desire, with that kind of money, you can make it happen. And that's poison. That's poison to the soul. Doesn't mean everyone, is like that with their money. But the ones that act on that kind of stuff, they're the worst type. And Diddy showed us that. It's crazy, y'all. If y'all ain't take anything from this video, just remember 1,000 bottles of baby oil every time they did a freak off. Every time. Got them ready. It's crazy. I can't imagine all that oil. What are you doing with all this oil? What do you need it for? This is crazy, y'all. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this situation, man. Stay tuned to the channel. Next video, we will definitely cover the death of Zach TV, and I'll go ahead and wrap that series up. So yeah, man, y'all let me know what y'all think. With that being said, it's Black Balloon, and I'm going to see y'all soon. I'm out.